So today, guys, I want to share 5 different approaches to master programming. Essentially, I can say these have been my stepping stone over the years to help me to have a solid understanding when it comes to software development and helping to transition from one framework, from one language to another framework and to another language. They have been key also to helping me to design new softwares and solve different software problems that I encounter in day-to-day programming. And so without further ado, let us dive in and see these approaches. So the first thing in this list is study software design patterns. Software design patterns in general are simply reusable solutions to commonly occurring problems within a given context in software design or software development. So by this I mean in the 1900s, there is this group of 4 guys who came together and analyzed many of the problems that occur in the software development and develop kind of, let me say, kind of patterns, solution patterns to these problems. In other words, every day we are faced with different problems in our programming world, but many of these problems are quite similar. And so, using software design patterns, these guys developed a solution which can be applied to these different problems which appear to be similar. So, once I studied software design patterns, they help me to know how to approach different problems. They develop a set of thinking that has helped me over the years to see programming problems in a more easy to solve manner. Yeah. So every time I approach a particular problem in software development, my first thought will be which software design pattern can I apply to solve these problems? And if by any chance I can apply any software design pattern to solve that problem, then that problem can be easily solved. So I will highly recommend anyone who is coming into software development to study software design patterns. Second approach that I'll encourage anyone who is coming to software development is stick to one coding style, right? When you're building any project, stick to one coding style. Do not use camel casing in one file, then underscores in another file, then comments in one file, then another file not having comments. That brings a lot of confusion. What you want to do, you want to be as consistent as possible. And being consistent as possible in programming helps you to write clean codes, that can be highly appreciated by those people who are coming to review a code later, and to write code which is easily understandable by those people who are coming to review your code. So stick to one coding style. The naming convention, the way you name the variable, the function, the way you comment your code, just stick to one coding style. The indentation throughout the code, stick to one coding style. Sometimes I know this might be different since languages like Python majorly rely on underscores and stuff, while PHP majorly on camel casing. But my point is, when you are building a project with a particular language, with a particular framework, stick to one coding style. Thank me later, guys, on this one. So the third approach is to build real world projects and contribute to the community. So let me tell you something about building real world project. It helps you to bypass most of the jargons, quote unquote, that you could have learned, which won't be very beneficial to helping you learn, or rather building a real world project. And so it saves you a lot of time, a lot of effort by synchronizing and bringing together all the important stuff you need in building a real world project. And the fact that you're building a real world project, and at the end you're seeing that you have built something that is helping the community, will bring a lot of satisfaction in your end. It will bring a lot of meaning on what you are working on, and that is basically what you want to experience at the end of the day, that you build something through something that you learned. Yeah, you don't want just to learn programming for fun. You don't want to learn programming just for the sake of passing time, but rather you want to learn programming to be a problem solver and make an impact using what you have learned. right? And also, as I've said, contribute definitely to the community. If you have any challenges, ask the community, get their feedback, and just working together, community helps you to grow faster in whatever framework, in whatever programming language that you will be learning. Uh, the fourth approach will be spend time learning how to debug and test code. I've seen many applications, going to production with a lot of bugs which could have easily been caught in the development stage, but because the developer or the testers or the QA engineers were careless and they never just cared enough to debug this application well, and then these bugs slip into production, and many a time it's a lot of chaos, a lot of fights. You don't want to have this situation when building an application, and if by any chance you want to minimize the probability of having such cases, by learning how to debug, learn how to use Chrome DevTools, learn how to use the Android debugger, learn how to use the Visual Code debugger, and it will help a lot in improving your skill as a programmer. You will write more clean code. You write code which are much easier to run, which are more efficient, more effective, and thus becoming more proficient in what you're doing. So just learn how to debug and test code. Yeah, learn how to peruse through the code and detect bug. This is one of the most important skill I cannot emphasize enough. Learn how to debug and test code. And lastly, is that stick to one or rather specific programming language, tool, or a framework before moving to another. In other words, master the major aspect of one programming language or framework or tool very well before even considering moving to another programming language. By this I mean, if you are learning Python, if possible, become a master in every aspect of Python. Build a lot of projects with Python and understand and basically resolve to understand many of these features of the Python programming language. This will help you a lot when you will be moving to a new programming language. And in fact, it will be much easier to learning new languages once you have really understood one language. The transition is usually very smooth. Even when it comes to frameworks, if you're learning Laravel, try to understand every feature you can while using this framework. That will include, for example, the APIs, the dashboards. Try to understand all these features before moving to a new framework. As such, if this will build a good foundation so that when we're moving to a new framework, it will be much, much easier for you to understand the new framework. And now, guys, these are the 5 major approaches that I've found to be very, very beneficial, very crucial. And so, if you find these features interesting, if you find them beneficial, please leave a comment down below. And also, don't forget to subscribe and also check our website at techus.co.ke. And until we meet again, all the best, guys, and happy coding. Bye bye.